Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out with UFC bantamweight Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel, you're here training at Raptors Gym. We're here visiting today, training in a gym alongside both MMA fighters and boxers. Just tell us how that helps aid your development.
Massively, you know. A lot of MMA fighters don't quite focus on their boxing as such. So to be able to have high-level boxers here and the coaches, you know, it means that I get that advantage over the other MMA fighters.
You had your UFC debut in May after a long stretch with Cage Warriors. What was the difference like in levels and also just the general atmosphere? Did it take a bit of getting used to?
I wouldn't say it took getting used to. You know, I've been dreaming of this for a long time now, so it all felt right. You know, I've been visualising it. Also, the show that I was on, it was kind of a small UFC fight night, so it was still huge. But compared to some of the others, you know, there wasn't the public weigh and stuff like that. So I was pretty much left alone fight week. They just said, you know, make weight. I think I had to do a photo shoot, things like that. So in terms of Cage Warriors, there wasn't much difference. You know, it was just obviously a big difference going to New York instead of fighting in London.
Were you at all disappointed that your debut didn't come here in the UK, especially with UFC Liverpool around a similar time?
I wouldn't say I was disappointed because I was over the moon that I'd got signed. But yeah, my dream is to fight in London. You know, a lot of guys want to fight in Vegas, but for me, you know, if I can fight in London in front of my family and friends on the biggest platform there is in the world, then that's, you know, a dream come true for me.
Just run us through the fight itself. Obviously, you got the victory. Johnny Eduardo, I believe you went for a takedown. He went for a takedown, sorry. You stuffed it and managed to get the submission. But you had a bit of a rough first round. Just tell us about the evolution of that fight.
Yeah, you know, I came out, I wanted to put on a show for the fans. You know, I don't like to get hit as such, but, you know, I like to put on an exciting performance. So I came out and, you know, even though that he's a high-level striker, he was ranked 10th in the world at one point, to have him on a debut is a tough fight. So, you know, I wanted to go out there, showcase my skills. Looking back on the fight, other than the flurry of punches that he caught me with near the end of the first round, other than that, I didn't really take any damage, you know. That's the thing with MMA. You get caught, you know, with the 4-ounce glove. That could be the end of the fight. But, you know, luckily I kept on going and got the win.
Tell us a bit about how you managed to turn it around in the second round.
Well, you know, I wasn't expecting him to shoot for a takedown. You know, I thought, you know, he's just edging the striking at the moment. But I was adamant, you know, that I was going to knock him out. That's what I was going for. So for him to shoot, you know, it kind of took me off guard a little bit. But, you know, I train every day. I train wrestling, I train my jiu-jitsu. So as soon as we went to the floor, I was comfortable that I'd get a submission.
Did that answer a few questions? Because any critics you do have seem to focus on your ground game. Did that answer a few of those doubters?
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, it's nice to... I was adamant that I was going to get a knockout bonus. So to come away and get a submission bonus, you know, that was even better.
You got a performance on the night bonus, I believe $50,000, which at the current exchange rate is pretty good. What have you spent it on?
To be honest, I've just put it away. You know, I'm saving up for a mortgage, so you know what it's like in England. It's a lot of money, so keep saving.
What's behind this beef that started a little while ago between you and Marlon Vera? What's the story there?
If I'm honest, there was no beef. There was no hard feelings. He actually beat my coach, Brad Pickett. So as a bit of fun, you know, I called out all of the guys that beat him and said, you know, I'm here to avenge his loss. Marlon Vera was the one that replied, but his replies were a bit odd. You know, he said, I think in one of them, that he was going to put his balls in my mouth and some real weird stuff. So we had a bit.
Not the kind of grappling you're into, I'm guessing.
Nah, definitely not. So we had a bit of back and forth. And then, you know, he said one day, oh, stay by the telephone, you're going to get a call today to fight me, blah, blah, blah. Never got that phone call, so I'm still waiting for that. And yeah, you know, he had his fight, won his fight. I was like, cool, let's get it on. He was looking for an opponent for the Argentina card. I said, I'm down, and he said that, you know, he's on to other things and pretty much, if I'm honest, doesn't want to fight me.
So what's it looking like getting another fight towards the end of the year? Is that still looking likely?
Yeah, from what I've been told, my manager said they would like to put me on at the end of this, within the end of the year. I know pretty much every year they seem to come to London February, March, so that's 100% what I'd like to be on. So if I can get one more this year, just before, then that's perfect. So far, you know, I'm being told that I will be on, so I'm just staying fit, staying ready.
Just tell us a little bit about your background, whereabouts you grew up and how you first got into MMA.
Well, I've grew up in Malden. I've been here my whole life, you know, South London. And my dad, he's always been into martial arts. You know, he's done everything from black belt in karate, black belt in judo, and the list will go on. So I've always been into it, you know, since growing up. And it was at the age of 16, you know, I thought, I don't want to be on a building site for the rest of my life. I was doing carpentry, and I thought, I've had enough of this. So I thought, what can I get into? What sports is there that I can achieve and, you know, make a living out of? And if I'm honest, I think MMA is the only sort of one you can start at a later age and make a career out of. And, you know, I went along with my dad, was like a duck to water, and, you know, the rest is history.
How much of an inspiration was Brad Pickett to you before he became your coach?
Massive inspiration, you know, that guy he was one of the first, I'd say, UK guys to basically make a living out of doing MMA. You know, he's been there from the start, he's been on all the shows. I remember seeing him in Kingston one day when I was with my ex-girlfriend, and he didn't know who I was. I remember saying, Brad, shouting out, and he just looked at me and was like, hey man, and give a little fist up. So now, you know, to be working alongside him and to be as close as I am, as we are, you know, it really is, I don't know what the word is, you know, but it's inspiring.
Brilliant. And just for people at home that might not have seen you fight before, just describe your style and what people can expect when they tune in to watch you.
You know, I'd like to describe my style as exciting. You know, I'm more of a striker, I'd say, but, you know, my grappling's just as good. But, you know, I like to be in a fast-paced fight, so if you watch me, don't blink.
And just final thing, just tell us your social media handles so people can follow your journey.
Yeah, it's The Prospect MMA on Twitter and on Instagram, and Facebook it's just Nathaniel Wood.
Brilliant. Well, we hope you get back out before the end of the year and continue flying the flag for us in the UFC.